said I got to say something, baby, hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic. Somebody hand me a mic, cause I got to say something, so just hand me a mic. When I need to say something, better hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic.
If I could pick my top horror movies, it wouldn't be the worst, but it would definitely make the top 5.
Okay.
Annabelle,
yeah.
Let's play the game, right? For entertainment purposes and that.
Ahead of this, I'm not a horror guy. I don't watch a lot of them.
No, right. Well, you might be excluded from this.
Yeah.
Well, it might be a non-starter if Southpaw also says he's not a horror guy.
I know of them. Like when you say what they are, I'll know them because Misha's like a huge horror person.
Is she?
She loves them. She's a freak though. Like I've like been out.
She's a freak.
Yeah. I've came back on a night out, right? And she's been like watching the horror films while I'm at the house.
Oh no, I don't like that.
She's been watching like I think it was like The Conjuring 2 or something like that, and she's fell asleep during the film. And I've came back in the house, right? She's still asleep, and it's like, you know, the DVD menu like just keeps rolling, like that horrible, creepy music. Houses, all the lights are off. I walk in the house, there's this creepy ass music playing, and I'm walking in just going, "Fuck this!" No.
But you watched Annabelle, though, or was that one of these situations?
That's one of them. Yeah, that's one of them ones. And I know of it, but no.
You watched it, Southpaw?
No, I haven't actually, because the only person I watch horrors with is my mother.
Your mother?
Yeah, we go to the cinema and we watch it there. That's the only place we really do. I'm not a big horror guy. I've seen a couple of horrors, but I couldn't even tell you. Like, mate, we got scared at The Woman in Black. Like, that's not even a horror. Like, it's not even that scary, The Woman in Black, but it's dead jumpy. And we went to the cinema, and like me and my mum were like, I must have been about 14 or something. And we were like, ah! Just like freaking out and all that. It wasn't nice, but no, I never really saw the advantage of a horror.
Yeah, no, I don't feel good about them.
Yeah, I don't come away and I'm like, oh, that was meaningful. I learnt a lot there. Like,
yeah.
But then people love the rush, don't they?
Yeah, I don't enjoy jump scares. That's the thing. Like creepy stuff. Like, it looks creepy. I can look at it and I think it looks really fucking cool. To be honest with you, like, it looks great.
Yeah, it does.
But like, and that doesn't scare us. Like, that doesn't play on my mind or anything. It's the jump scare thing. It's like the thrill of it doesn't appeal to me at all. I don't enjoy it.
No. I think it was. I think it's like a time in your life. I wouldn't consider myself a horror movie guy.
Yeah,
I never was. But I went through like a 2-year period. Coincidentally, when things were fucked up in life, obviously, like it turns you away, doesn't it? And I think in the space of 2 years, it's literally. I just, you know, I'm a quite obsessive person, so I applied it to this. Yeah, it was just every night, and I went through the whole array.
You're in a fucked up place and you thought, I just want to see something that's more fucked up so I feel better about myself.
Yeah, but the worst of the worst, and I've probably said this on here a few times before.
Tell you what. Sorry, keep going, Daniel.
What are you saying, sir?
I watched this film recently with Zoe. She made me watch it. Now, this was a fucking experience.
Oh, shit, yeah. Misha, I think I've been in the room when Misha's watched this and I've been like designing or something.
What's the premise of the film?
So, there's this hand.
A hand?
And yeah, it's basically
It's like Cousin It. No, the Thing out of Addams Family.
I'm not sure.
They each like take turns, don't they?
They each take turns, and basically you can sort of leave the sort of real world and then go and see the other side of this world. Now, if you get pulled out at the right time, you're all right. But she stayed in too long, and without spoiling it for people, things get fucking messed up, and like the underworld and her, like it all blurs into one. You know what I mean? The underworld begins to come out, and these dead people are everywhere, and stuff like that's going on for people who do talk. Oh, it's like she sees all this mad stuff, mate, and it's just yeah. Talk to Me is a great one. I'd recommend watching that. Like I enjoyed that one because you do get the rush, you do get the scare, but then actually that had a good storyline. I think a horror with a good storyline can be a good film.
Mm-hmm. My personal opinion is, and I think everybody's got their own version of this, but it's, in a horror, you get the monster horrors, right, where there's monsters. Yes, when I watch one, I'll jump, but it certainly doesn't give me no, like, lasting effects, because I just think there's no such thing as monsters, right? And I've always had a thing.
Not under your bed.
When I was a kid, one of the first horror movies I ever watched was Halloween. I think it was everybody's, Mike Myers.
Yeah.
And as a kid, that used to frighten me. But look, I'm not saying now I'm no hero, but like I'm less scared of it now because I just think like it's just a man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a man. Like, yeah, he's obviously quite good at being Mike Myers, but you've got a chance. You know, when it's a man, like, you've got a chance. It's not like there's nothing you can do about it. You're not defenseless. You have a chance. You can run, you can jump. Like, it's always pissed me off in these films. Like, they don't run away properly.
And
Like,
they don't put much of a fight up either.
they run,
really,
they
yeah.
fall, and like Mike Myers can be halfway down the street, and they're like, and they're trying to like get up and like trying to get to their feet. And I'm like, it's took you 30 seconds and you haven't stood up,
Yeah.
and then you fall over again. Like, mate, get new trainers, fam. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not working for you. So these sorts of ones, as much as yes, it is creepy, but the ones that get me are ones where you think like I mean, special shout out to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because that's fucked up, that, mate. But the one that got me more than anything was the Paranormal Activity
Right,
saga.
yeah.
That, right, that still to this day has changed my life. Like, I'm not quite over it, because it's one of them that, like, your brain just computes it as, if this happened, right, there's nothing you can do. You can't run, you can't hide, you can't stop
nothing
it.
to fight.
There's nothing you can do, because you're dealing with something that's, I mean, that's not even in the movie, I don't know what that is, but you're not dealing with something that's, like, comprehensible, you know what I mean? And it's believable, because I've never seen anything paranormal, but it's something that's been going, like, there isn't like a whole like section of the world that believes monsters are real, but there's a whole section of the world that believes that this is real, right?
Yeah.
And there's like, we've all watched the documentaries and stuff about office stuff
When
happening.
they go down at the basements and shit with
course.
them little devices.
Of course.
Like, it's beeping, there's a ghost.
But
Bullshit.
yeah, I stumbled across this one like just in my period of time when I was watching it, and I didn't really think it was going to be anything special. But oh my god,
Is that number 7? There's
there was
7
a-
of these.
there was a lot
I've
of
done
them.
a bunch of them.
Basically, they get shitter.
I remember like the first one was like all over the place. It was huge. People
Yeah.
were going on about this for a while.
Like 1, 2, and 3. 2 was the one that got me the most. But 1, 2, and 3 are good. This seems to get rubbisher after that.
Yeah.
But wow, what a film that was. It was totally messed up. And I think because of the way they filmed it, like a lot of it was, when they use like camcorders and like house CCTV, the whole thing was filmed like that. And it just plays tricks for your mind, because you're like, this is real. Like,
Yeah.
you are literally watching this and you're like, oh, this is a family living
It's
and
not
stuff.
cinema. It feels more grounded and real.
Fam,
Yeah.
Like, whoever the guy is, like, I've been meaning to look into this actually, because the guy that makes these, I think he makes a lot of horror films, and like I think his stand out above the rest. Do you know what I mean? Who is that guy, Southpaw, who makes these films? But listen, if I would actually, I take it
Oren
back.
Pelly.
Yeah. What other films has Oren Pelly
Look
done?
on his IMDb somewhere. It'll be down the page, I would have thought.
Oh, well.
Oren Pelly. Yeah. What's this? IMDb. So this says what he's done.
Click on him, yeah.
So that's him there. God, he's got a twisted mind, him.
Known for, go down.
Let's have a look. What we got?
Chernobyl.
Stop. These his films here.
Yeah, he's done. Oh,
So
he's done all
these
sorts.
Insidious.
Insidious.
Yeah. Night Terrors, Paranormal Activity. I mean, some of them I've never heard
Wouldn't
of.
you just
like.
love it if Paddington 2 was just...
Yeah. I mean, Insidious, that's a well-known one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Insidious.
Through the
But yeah, man, Paranormal Activity. Anybody that hasn't seen it, do not watch it. If you're like prone to that stuff, then yeah. But it ruined my life for a while. I can remember the night I got home and it's one of the only times in life where I have hidden under the quilts, and I remember like just being, where you're that scared, you go cold. Like I was that scared, I was going cold, like stone cold. Like, wow, what a film! Anybody
Yeah.
that's watched it, like, it'll
I
agree.
struggled with that one, I'll be honest. Because
what?
I didn't like the way it was filmed.
What,
Obviously,
Paranormal?
being like a filmmaker and producing, marvelous content like this podcast, it's difficult for me to watch something like that.
Well, to be fair, like maybe it's something that it triggers my brain, because another one that really got me many years before was the Blair Witch Project. It was like the first of its kind to film like that. You know what I mean? I was like 14 when it came out at the cinema, so like you probably weren't born, Southpaw, were you?
No, not around them, mate.
Nah, man. But this was kind of the first one like this. There's been a modern one which was crap, but the original Blair Witch, I think this is the modern one. But the original from like 1999, I want to say, or 2000.
This one.
Yeah, fam. Creepy, man. Proper creepy. Really good. really good film. That's the end scene there. Spoiler: where the man stood in the corner.
Right.
It's it's about a witch. It's basically none of you have seen it, no?
No, I don't know.
So basically, it's like students. Must be the modern one. It's terrible. But I think, was it based on a true story? I want to say it was based on a true story. Basically, there was these students, like 3 students, and they live in a place like Salem somewhere, like in America, like one of them type jobs. And there's like a myth that there's a witch in the woods, and like they go out like to film it, like as part of like a bit of fun, you know, take a tent, camp, drink, and you know how it all unfolds. Shit starts happening, creepy stuff happens. One of them goes missing. They find a tongue on the floor.
Nice.
Like, it is twisted, and the whole thing is filmed with these cameras, so it's very real.
Handheld camera thing.
Yeah, and they find these little like signs everywhere and shit, and then like they get lost, and well, let's just say it doesn't end well. Let's just say.
Cool.
But the beauty of the film is it leaves you hanging because you never see what happened. You don't ever see a witch at any point. Just creepy stuff, and the end is like this chaos with this camera, and then the camera gets dropped on the floor, and someone stood in the corner, and then like that's the end of it, and you never know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I played a video game, which was like a horror game, which was fucking... I shit myself with this, right? So it's a similar thing where you've got the camcorder. You can't attack or anything in this game. You're literally just a guy with a camcorder, but you've got to like search for batteries for the camcorder because it's going to die all the time.
Right.
And it's like, if the camera dies, you basically can't see until something fucking grabs you. And it's called Outlast, and you're like this journalist who's like going to have a look at this abandoned asylum thing to see what went wrong and why it was closed down and stuff.
Right.
And there's just loads of inmates just loose in it. And honestly, like...
And when you light your lights on the camera. So
you've got like a night vision on the camera, so you can
Right.
see in the dark and stuff as you're going through.
Yeah.
But the more if you use the night vision, your battery goes down. If you don't use the night vision, you'll kind of be all right, but you can't see shit. And honestly, like the jump scares in it, everything, like I was no good, man.
I think that would get me even more because you're controlling like where you
Yeah,
look.
that's the
like,
thing though. Like you can, because there's like places you can hide. So I like hid in this locker for a while, and I paused the game. I went downstairs, made a cup of coffee. I was like stood at the bench, just going,
Fuck. I'm just gonna stay in the
like
locker.
people were checking out. And I was, Johnny, you all right? I was like, you're gonna have to come and do this with us, man. I can't do this. Just come and sit with us for a while,
Sit
please.
with us for a bit, put the light on.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I've never been part of the gaming crew since the Sega Mega Drive days, but
Yeah.
I imagine like the creepy games now. I imagine they're pretty intense.
Oh yeah, there's some scary shit in that.
Yeah.
I only jumped on this one because it was because I'm a cheapskate and it was free, and I was like, well, I'll play anything that's free.
How did you get a game for free?
It's like part of a subscription where like you pay for like PlayStation Plus, and then they'll give you like 2 monthly free games. And most of the time they're shit, and I never play it. But every now and again there'll be a gem like this, and you're like, all right, okay, I'm gonna do it.
But
That
this
was good.
This is an actual game, though, right? This isn't something that. It's not like just some freebie. It's an actual sellable game.
Yeah, it's a sellable game. Yeah,
You just got it for free with your subscription.
yeah.
But you get like the beta version, don't you, sometimes? And then like you can buy the real version. So you get a tester all the time. So it's like a tester to see whether you actually want it.
Yeah, I mean, you can pick this up for like £2 now. Like, it's,
What, this game?
yeah, it's a few years old now.
What is like considered as a non-gamer? What is considered like the scariest game out?
Oh, I don't know.
I
That's
use it
a
as
good
game,
one.
Johnny.
Yeah. It's I get less and less time for it nowadays. But I still play a lot.
I've heard of Silent Hill before.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Outlast is on there, Johnny.
Outlast, yeah, there it is.
So that list there is support. Well, this is someone's opinion of the scariest games ever.
Yeah.
I think Resident Evil's considered one of them. Like it's up there. Though it's Five Nights at Freddy's. That's a weird one as well, because that's like you're like a security guard in like a children's play park, and you're controlling like the CCTV, and like you can see these like these scary like bear costumes or statues or whatever. And if you look at them, they won't move. But if you flip to another camera, they can like change position, and it's like them working their way towards you where you are in the CCTV room to kill you. So you need like keep an eye on all of them at all times, but they're all moving at different times.
Yeah, I think
Scary shit, man.
I think that would trigger me with the CCTV thing.
Yeah.
I think I'd be triggered.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man. Well, on another note, are we rolling Southpaw?
We are rolling.
We are rolling.
Yay!
What a pleasure. We're back again.
Back again,
You know,
another week.
doing
Another
it all
pod. Here we
again.
go.
This is what we do. Welcome to people like us. Thank you everyone for watching. Continue to do so. Yeah. Well, okay. I've got some good news. Popeye's, the chicken shop, is now in Bishop Auckland. That's a good thing.
Oh, cool.
Why is that a good thing? Popeyes is awesome. Have you ever had a Popeyes?
I haven't. There's been one open at the Metro Centre near where I live. Mm-hmm. That's been open for a while. But the bother with that is there's a Wingstop, there's a Five Guys, there's a Nando's, there's everything. So I've never done it yet.
Are you an avid KFC guy?
Yeah, I like
Right.
a good KFC. Well, no, I'll have it once and then I'll be like, oh, that was so like, because I'll binge on it. Like I'll have a lot in one sitting and then put myself off it and then I'll have it like a month later.
It's part of the KFC cycle, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
Same, yeah. Yeah, I'll not have it for ages. I'll have it 2 or 3 nights, knock myself completely sick because it's that minging, and then not have it for ages. But Popeyes is like KFC on steroids.
Is it awesome?
Oh, it's awesome! Yeah. You just get loads. The chicken's better. Everything. They've got like, because it's like very American. They've got like the biscuits and gravy stuff. You know that American thing?
Oh yeah, not a fan.
What, you've had them before?
Yeah,
Like?
I'm not a fan.
Oh, I like anything minging and American. Yeah. Look, I'm salivating thinking about it. Yeah, I like to see this. Like when Five Guys came to Teesside, I was hopeful. I was like, it's getting closer. It's getting closer. But you know what?
But you've been eyeing up Popeye since then, like.
No, Five Guys was a few years ago, and it's all for the. My big plan is they're going to come to Darlington. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Five Guys in Teesside is still too far for me to nip to get.
Okay.
Or to get a delivery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a patient man. I'll wait. Now Popeyes. So it's all happening, mate. Popeyes is now in Bishop. I mean, why would they choose Bishop and not Darlington? Like, no offense to people from Bishop, but Darlow's loads better. I'm just saying, you'll make more money in Darlington.
Bigger community, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a Popeyes in Bishop. There's now a Taco Bell in, I want to say Stockton or Middlesbrough.
Yeah. I've got one in Newcastle that I go to, yeah.
You
Well,
can-
no, that I would go to. I haven't actually been, but I could, yeah.
Same, I've never been, but they're getting closer.
Yeah, I've been to the Taco Bell in Sheffield, and that was pretty powerful. Like mid drinking.
I've never had one.
Americans don't speak too highly of it, though, do they?
I think it varies. I think it's like anything, isn't it? It's right for some people, right for others, but not right for others.
I always thought it was one of them ones where they associated with just getting the runs.
Yeah.
No, Taco Bell last night, no good. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of variation, like very different types of takeaway foods. I'm a big fan. Popeyes, I'll probably give it a go, Daniel. If it's better than KFC, like you're raving about, I probably will give it a go. And this little box here, that seems up my street.
Yeah.
That looks a little bit like the trilogy box meal that I would get at KFC.
Have you had it out in America? Mm-hmm. Is it the same?
To be honest, I couldn't answer that because I've never had it in England. I've only had it in America.
Oh, you haven't been for it in the UK yet?
Come to think of it, I might be all wrong here because it might be better over there.
Well,
It will be.
Yeah, that's what I wonder about because I've heard of like Wendy's coming across and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be the same. Am I going to like kind of ruin the experience for myself if I went over there?
Do we have a Wendy's here?
I've heard rumours that it's coming.
Right.
Yeah, no, there's a Wendy's in Sheffield again that I've been to.
Is there?
And it's nice, but it's just nothing to scream about. It's just like it's like a knockoff KFC again for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just doesn't quite. KFC have got it locked down in the UK. I think it takes a while for them to get over all the correct ingredients, make sure everything's aligned. Like in America, I don't know what.
I thought Wendy's was more burgers though.
It might be. I might have messed up and got a chicken burger, but I feel like Americans have like just miles better food, like just in every regard.
I think they've got the health regulations at least are over there, aren't they? So they can put more shit in it.
Basically what it is, yeah.
It's like MSG and that. Like MSG's like it's over here obviously, but the MSG in America just must be better.
Yeah, I mean, like we care if food gives us cancer in this country. That's what it is.
Yeah, we do.
They actively push that it
just
gives you
like,
cancer.
Yeah.
That's what they're about. But if you take that, trivial piece of information aside and just boil down to how delicious is it is delicious.
Yeah.
But I'm a Darlingtonian, born and bred, and we don't do too well for variation in takeaways. It seems that it all happens around us, but it doesn't seem to happen here.
Nothing comes into dollar.
Yeah, you can only assume that these people who set up these things and the franchisers or franchisees and people who do the research, we mustn't be big takeaway town then because we got no burger. I mean, they took Burger King away. Right?
Yeah.
They
It's
took
gone now.
Starbucks away from you guys as well, didn't they? You
And
had one at one point.
now came back as a drive-through.
Oh, has it?
So we had it in the town centre, but we've now got a drive-through
Oh, good.
over on Faverdale.
Oh, good.
But apart from that, like McDonald's and KFC have us locked off, don't they? But Yeah, we got none of the good stuff, none of the like fancy ones, but like
Yeah, concert's the same. Concert, we have the McDonald's, KFC. I think they just go everywhere, don't they? That's the thing.
But
yeah, we're yet to get the fancy shit.
if you had to say like, I mean, I'm surely I'm speaking for us all here, the best takeaway. I mean, the best fast food joint, if you want to say it, fast food joint. The best fast food joint is Five Guys, right? Help me out with you people.
It's high up there. I mean,
Right,
I just had one on the weekend. Top tier, absolutely fantastic.
What's your order? Because
I-
you put all sorts in your burger, can't you? But if you do too much, it takes away from the burger itself.
No, fuck that. I go all in sometimes, and then sometimes I just take away like the jalapenos and stuff like that.
That foreign muck.
Yeah. Get rid of that
foreign
shit.
muck.
See, I like jalapenos, but like I went with Zoe and she was putting like mushrooms in the burger. I was like, whoa, you're doing a bit
Yeah.
too much there. Like, yeah.
Oh no, I'm a big fan of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm a simple man.
Yeah.
I'm
just
a-
double bacon and cheese, please.
Double bacon and cheese. I have two because I'm a big lad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So 2 double bacon and cheese with lettuce and tomato. Don't mess about. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. I want a burger as it was supposed to be made.
If I was going to do two, though, I'd have one mental one. And then
Would you?
I'd have one normal. Yeah. Not that I can afford to, but yeah.
No. I mean, where they get them prices from, I'll never know.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
That is
It is
insane.
insane.
How much you paying for your Five Guys at the weekend, if you don't mind me asking, Johnny?
For the two of us, we were talking like 45.
Ooh, you getting your own fries?
We went 2 of the bacon cheeseburger things, then fries to share, large fries to share, and then 2 milkshakes.
45 baht.
Yeah, it was up there. It was fucking-
Yeah, but their milkshakes are massive, aren't they?
Oh, the milkshakes were class. The
Yeah.
milkshake, I highly recommend. Like, just close your eyes, press the button, just say, yeah, okay.
You know what I like about Five Guys? They make it an experience for you.
Oh.
Like, they're aware that, oh, right, this is a treat. And as far as I've only been twice, but every time I've went, like, oh, what else do you want? And, like, they'll just throw it in. Like, I don't know whether you might have actually ended up paying for it. I don't know. But they're like, oh, onions, yeah. All right, bacon, yeah, throw that in.
Hang on. You don't pay for the extras, right?
No, you don't.
No.
Yeah. You just throw in what you want. And I
Yeah.
quite like that. They make it an experience, don't they? Even though you're paying extortionate prices. Like, they're like, oh, no, have this as well. What do you want in it? I quite like that. But,
No, I like how they don't fuck about either. Like, their menu's like small. Like, they ain't a lot on the menu. It's like, you've got the choice of like,
You get burger, hot dog.
yeah,
Pretty
a
much.
burger, a hot dog, maybe I think there's some kind of cheese sandwich. I think they do now, like a
Yeah,
toasty,
I
basically.
think so, yeah.
they've got like 3 products that they sell, and
Nobody's getting a toasty.
then chips,
Yeah.
and a variation of milkshakes.
Yeah.
Like, keep it simple. Why mess about?
I'm always
I like
worried
that,
when I
yeah.
turn up to like a restaurant and their menu is huge. Like I actually like just maybe 1, maybe 2 pages of
Yeah.
things that they do really well.
McDonald's is a bit like that now, isn't it? Like, there's so many variations on shit. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, I like that Southpaw because what it basically is look, just pick what you're really good at, just sell that. You know what I mean, and do that really well.
That's all you need. That's
Yeah.
all you want. And the establishments that provide less but provide it very well, I always find that they do a lot better.
Oh mate, I've got 5 guys in my head.
Yeah.
I know we can't think like that. We're a health and wellness podcast half the fucking
Tell
time.
you what I put on the same level, that god tier level.
Really?
You had a Wingstop.
No.
Wingstop's fucking banging, mate.
Talk to me about
Oh.
Wingstop. What's
So-
the sector? What is it?
So we're talking chicken wings. You can get like your tenders and shit as well if you wanted to, but I've only ever went in on the chicken wings.
So it's KFC land.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they're not like. I think the tenders are battered, but the wings aren't. But you can pick your different sauces for the wings. You can get like 6, 10, or 12, and you can get like different spice levels. I go for it's a Korean barbecue sauce. It's unbelievable. Oh, it's lovely. It's fucking
Sounds
banging.
messy.
Yeah. And then, but the real thing is, the best thing about it is they do like you get your wings, but then with the wings comes like a dip, and they have this ranch sauce. Oh,
I've heard about the ranch.
Oh my god!
Is it that good?
Oh mate,
Is
it? Like I've had a look. Like I've been in my Tesco's and shit. Looked at ranch sauces. They ain't a patch on Wingstop's ranch sauce.
No.
It's unbelievable. So you can also get loaded fries, and you get the loaded fries with like a load of cheese on, and the ranch sauce, and then you have your ranch dip with the wings. Oh my god!
I don't think I've ever seen you so passionate about
Mate,
the sauce, Johnny.
I'm a big sauce guy.
Yeah.
It's gonna kill us. It's
Yeah.
gonna kill us.
But I can feel the passion.
You need to get on this. Like, oh my god.
Where would one find a Wingstop?
So, well, the first time we found it was in London. We went to see a show, and then just like there was an interval, so we're like, we need food, and it was like literally just across the road from where we were. So we're like, fucking all right, Wingstop it is, and it's great because they give you plastic gloves as well to eat your wings, so you don't get sticky
No
fingers.
fucking way. They give you plastic gloves.
Big fan of that.
God.
No mess.
All you
good.
need then is a wet wipe to wipe your face.
Yep, exactly. Bang.
Right, that's
Yeah.
into the show. See you later. No, but seriously.
But since we went to the London one opened up in the Metro Centre of all places, which is why I haven't been to Popeyes, because every time we go, it's like, it's got to be Wingstop. It's Wingstop or
Right.
Five Guys, you know?
Yeah. You've just opened things up for me now. I think now I know what I'm doing at the weekend.
Yeah, you need to make the trip.
Yeah,
It's
but it's
worth-
just chicken wings.
You can get chicken burgers and shit if you wanted to. I've never messed around with any of that, so I can't say how good it is. Once I had the wings, I was like, why am I going to waste a Wingstop on something else?
I mean, I know we're talking like so degenerately about all this takeaway food, but bringing it back to Michael Purdy in the world of health and wellness.
Oh yes.
You've gotta treat yourself.
No, I know you've got to treat yourself, but he was saying it's not a healthy way to live if you're... Like, I eat clean all week, and then on a weekend, most weekends, I'll let myself go at least once. That's fine. But
Okay.
that's not
About
healthy.
moderation.
It's not a healthy way to live, apparently. At least maybe 2 weekends of the month you're letting yourself go. That's what he would say.
What, instead of every weekend?
Instead of every weekend. If you can have a clean, full week, and then the next weekend, that's going to taste miles better. Because think we work hard all week, or some of us work hard all week, whoever's listening, and then on a weekend you let yourself go. Fine, lots of people do that. I'm in that boat. But I think if you can do a whole week and be really healthy, and then go through the next week really healthy, and then on that weekend, I think that'll taste so much better.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Maybe.
going to try and do this weekend.
That's moderation plus to me.
Yeah.
You know, moderation's only going dirty on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, you know, I speak from experience. I've done it both. I've been an all-out pig, and you feel like shit all the time. Personally, I did. And I've been an all-out fucking Shaolin monk and not had a calorie for a year. You know what I mean? Like, lived like that. And, yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science. If you live like that, you feel good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work in life. I mean, as somebody who trains and tries to eat clean, it doesn't work. Like, Michael Purdy will also say that social is important. As, you know, Mike Purdy be the first to say he's done the extreme before. He's lived in an absolute extreme life, competition mode, and it's so restrictive. And I actually don't think it's healthy for you. I actually think that going to Five Guys with someone you love and having a talk and having like it's part of being in community. And I think you have to, like, in this busy world, we live in this busy world, we're at the gym, we're at work, like, that is how people congregate around a pizza, around a thingy, around some pints, if you're in your case. Like, I get it. And yes, in an ideal world, like, it would only work, right, if you were with like-minded people, if all of you lived like that. But if you're trying to do it alone, and like 0.01% do that,
And everybody else is going out on the nights and you're missing out.
you're just missing out, man.
Yeah.
So, like,
I think like health and happiness are two very separate things.
Yes.
Like, don't confuse the two. 'Cause,
No.
Yeah.
no.
That's out of the window.
They can support each other. I get it, but you can't sacrifice one for the other. You got to have both.
I agree, Sean.
Nah, definitely, yeah. That would be the way, you know. Certainly I do it that way.
Yeah.
You know, be good for a few days and then, you know, go and have a pizza.
Life's stressful, man. You just
Man.
fucking eat the kebab.
Yeah, man. Look,
Have
we get you know, we get a number of decades, so you might as well enjoy it, right?
Correct.
It is.
Absolutely.
Stop. Hold up. Before we carry on, just a quick word from our sponsor. Do you have a business? Thinking about starting one? Dash, the bespoke web design and branding experts. When you have a business that needs a professional online presence, when your current website is starting to look a little outdated and tired, when you have an idea and want to see it brought to life online, that's where Dash can help. Dash create bespoke websites built around your business and its requirements, from exceptional e-commerce stores to sell your products online to beautiful brochures showcasing who you are and what you do. The team at Dash will become an extension of your business. You'll be assigned a dedicated team who will help guide and advise from the initial design brief all the way to the website launch. Not only that, Dash provide full aftercare to carry out any changes, alterations or updates quickly and efficiently. It's like having your very own personal web development team 365 days a year. Dash understands that in today's world, the right online image, exposure and representation is the key to success. Book in a free, no obligation consultation with one of their experts today to see how Dash can make your online vision an online reality.
Just visit www.dashmedia.co.uk or search Dash Media on Google to find out more. Dash, the bespoke website and branding experts.
Something nostalgic happened to me we filmed on Wednesday last.
Wednesday.
So it was, what day did I go up there? Oh, no, it was Wednesday today. So it was only Monday. Sorry, it was only Monday. So I was driving to Stokesley, right? Could be the A19, correct me if I'm right, Southpaw?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that right, the A19? That bit between the Teesside Cinema and the Stokesley turn-off, is that right, A19?
That's correct, A19.
And what a wonderful, nostalgic thing. I'd driven past, it was a minibus, but it was like a workman's minibus. Mm-hmm. So it's a picture of a minibus, but it had like blokes in it. I could see like high-vises in it. Really lovely. And I got mooned.
No way.
Nice.
Yes. When was the last time you saw a moon?
Oh, God, you're talking school days, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
It was me getting mooned.
It was beautiful. But
Yeah.
it was beautiful. Like, I was overtaking them, and they were on this side of me. And, you know, like, the chances of me looking was slim.
Has like a 90s nostalgia, doesn't it?
Oh,
A
it was
good
wonderful.
moon thing.
Like, and I was driving past this van, like slow, like I'm not, like, you know, like a slow overtake. I'm not a lunatic. I'm like in a, you know, like a zonk. Really, I'm not really paying attention, just looking forward. And it just happened out the corner of my eye to look, and there was an ass already out. And then there was the men sat in front were going to me, like giving me the thumbs up, and I laughed and I give him a beep 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 beep. You know, like I thought, good for you, mate. Yeah,
Nice, I
that's
love
right.
that.
Well, you know, like nowadays you can't do it because like indecent exposure and like you know.
Yeah,
but-
you call in that company and the numbers on the back and stuff.
yeah, there was no. It was a plain white minibus. So you don't know who they were. You know,
Yeah.
there was no like company phone number. That's a move, that innit? You know, Dave's Builders 01325. Do you know what I mean?
Got your ass.
Yeah, man, that's a move. But yeah, God bless him.
I've got that mate who will. It's not. I don't think it classes as a moon, but every time when we're out and we'll go to like a public urinal, he's always pants down to his ankles.
Yeah, I love that. I
Just
love
for
that.
a laugh. He's like, it takes like such a level of confidence to do that shit.
Yeah,
but
it
just
does. It does.
all the time, like Newcastle Airport and shit like that. There's people trying to go on the holidays, man.
Like, I don't know, like, I think you want to watch it with that one, like, because, like, if a dad walks in with his little boy and there's someone stood like that, he's going to think, like, and he's the wrong type of guy, he's just going to thump you. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to get a warning. Like,
You ever
Yeah.
got keg much at school?
keg,
No,
I've been kegged, but
Yeah.
not much.
I've had some close calls, but I've seen a lot of bad cases. That's it.
Yeah.
So I fancied this girl, and we were all playing footy.
Oh no!
We're all playing footy.
You know what this is?
no,
We're all playing footy at the Mugger, right? On like a Wednesday evening. Let's just say she's called Whitney Houston or something. Anyway, she was beautiful.
Whitney
really fancied
Houston.
her. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm walking over saying, "Oh, hi, Whitney, how you doing?" And like my mate comes behind me, and bear in mind, I'm about 12. Like, I haven't even got a pecker at this point. And like pulls like
Whitney
absolutely
Houston
like
sees your pokeball.
it's not even a full. It's not even like half a keg. It's a full blown keg, and like to the point where like I'm speechless myself. It's like,
Was it
"Oh,
cold day as well?"
Hi, it's freezing, mate. And then, like, and it's like, "Oh, hi, Whitney." Boom, like legs down, like pants, ankles. There you go. You know what I mean? Like brutal. Just like didn't even know what to do. Like I stopped. Couldn't
just
even like.
stood there
Couldn't.
trying-
Yeah, just
Yep.
like, oh fuck. Yeah, that happened. Well, I was like 12, and then another one. Listen, I do want your opinion. I want your opinions on this. So you know, you just mentioned about the mooning, and those lads will have had a number on their car that you could ring, maybe their offices, and report that said mooning. Not that
They
you
did it in this
not-
case.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I was on the route, Sheffield, of course, driving there. I'd say about 6 months ago. Now, this was a low moment for me, but I won the war. Anyway, this lad was in a van and he was swerving left and right, being a knob, and like pulled in front of me. Like, we're on the motorway. Like, it was dangerous what he was doing, dangerous driving. Like, I'm just trying to mind my own business, and he like kept getting close. And you know, you have them moments on a motorway where you're like, oh, then, you know what I mean? You in your car and you know nothing's going to happen. So I had this moment with this lad, and I was like, what the fuck you do? Like, what are you doing? Like, all this turning at him, and he's like, oh, fuck you, swearing at me and stuff, and back and forth for at least 2 minutes. And then, like, I noticed there was a number on the back of his vehicle. And I was like, should I do it? So I did it. And I rang Denise from said company. I said, oh, hi, Denise. I've just had an absolute moment there on the motorway. Now, I don't want to be this guy to report the person, but I'm going to do it because, he was dangerous driving in your vehicle for your company. He was a younger lad. Right. He had black hair. And he was clearly just being a knob. It was a Friday, you know what I mean? It was the end of his...
the deal. I wanted to know what
it was the end of his week, and I was just like, right, well, you can't go on like this no more. This is going to be your lesson, son. Anyway, like, I look at... he's like pulled next to me at this point, and I'm like speaking to Denise about him, and like read his number plate out. Like, they know exactly who it is driving that car at that point, because they're clearly an established firm. And I just look at the guy and I go... like swear at him, like point at the phone, and like he goes, oh, you could see it all like merging. And I like to think that was his final warning. That was it, bit, you know what I mean? Gone.
Do you think he got it? That like what you were signalling? Like, yeah,
100%. Because he piped right down. Like he just let me past, and like wasn't being a knob no more. And like I think
picture at that moment his phone ringing and him just putting two and two together and thinking, fuck.
Yeah. Well, I just thought...
What would have happened if you rang that number and it just rang through to him? Would you just...
oh, mate, stop driving like a fucking knob. Anyway, I knew it was like a nice van, but he was driving like a tit, and he was a younger lad, probably around my age, and I thought, listen, you're going to get your lesson taught here.
Teach you a lesson, son.
Mm-hmm. Like, if that was no biddy, I was fast enough to swerve out the way. Driving like a tit, mate.
Oh, fam, you can't play on the motorway.
No. So what do you think? Do you think I'm a knob in that scenario, or do you think like...
No, I've had a similar one. What wasn't quite the same. Wasn't on the motorway. I was driving into Newcastle, and someone threw a sandwich at my car.
Gangster. Yeah. I like this. What kind of sandwich was it?
I think it might have been a BLT or something.
Strong
It had
BLT.
a little smear of mayo on there.
Was that? Yeah, man.
I just heard it in the back window, and I was like, that fucking sandwich.
I'm fucking starving as well. Get it.
And Misha rang the company on the side of the van and reported.
I love it.
Yeah.
Listen,
I think social justice is good, you know.
I love that you did it, and I support that you did it. Both of you. Personally, I wouldn't. Right?
No, I wouldn't. Misha did the argument.
That's better. If somebody else does, if I'm in the car and somebody else does, all right, cool. Yeah. I couldn't do it. But no, 100%, because you don't play on a motorway, man. And you don't play in Newcastle City Centre with sandwiches.
Yeah. No, you don't.
Who
Not
throws a
BLTs.
For fuck's sake.
No.
If it was just like a ham sandwich, you're all right. You probably let that one slide. But BLT, there's mayo, there's all sorts.
Yeah. That's a crime.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
A proper sandwich.
Yeah.
But no, you did right, Southpaw.
I felt like a knob. But like,
no.
I wanted to teach a boy a lesson. You know what I mean? And anyway, lessons were taught, and I thought, listen, not getting away with this no more.
No.
Well, there you go. His lesson was taught. Either got a disciplinary or a meeting brought in about that said moment. And obviously, I sort of exaggerated to Denise on the phone about what he was doing, and then
you'd like to think there's, think how the rest of that day unfolded, right? So he's in the van, right? Mm. He's just had his moments.
Friday, ready to go for a nice weekend.
And all of a sudden, bring, and he knows what it is. And he answers the phone, hello? And Denise gives him, the account that Southpaw's given him. And what, if I was Dave in his van, I'd just say, no.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Like, and that's it. Well, somebody said you did. No, I did pass a little so-and-so who was swerving all over the road, swearing at me, but I haven't done anything wrong.
Maybe he's spun it. But even then, I think he's had to take some form of accountability for his actions, even if he's lied.
And then he continued driving home to his family, his newborn child. He said, I was just having a bad day there.
Yeah.
I thought for just a little bit of fun, a little bit out of my day, I thought I'd just play a bit silly buggers on the motorway. I've just been fired. Yeah. So I'm sorry, little Jimmy, you're gonna starve.
No nappies for Jimmy.
No, and let me take this further.
Yeah.
Right? Let me jump on the back of your story, Jonny. Like, it could be more extreme.
Oh, he's driving to the hospital.
Well, imagine.
Oh God, yeah.
Imagine he loses his job. His missus blows him out. Right? He then doesn't get custody of the kids. He goes down a bad path. He ends up on the drink, on the drugs, mixes with the wrong people, and he ends up killing himself.
No, but just before he kills himself, right, he flips onto YouTube and he opens up a People Like Us podcast. And and he sees you telling the story.
Smugly.
And he's like, that dick.
Yeah.
And then
he
just-
goes,
If
or
you
he
are
goes full
listening,
John Wick. And he's like, I'm going to fucking come after this cunt.
yeah.
I'm going to find him. Who is the Southpaw? And
Right. Well, my address is. Get
Don't worry
yourself
about
down.
We'll leave it in the description below, won't
Yeah.
we? For all.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Interesting,
I
mate.
respect it. I think you did the right
It
thing.
was one of them.
Because he could have hurt somebody, you know?
Don't want to be a
Could've hurt
Karen, but like I don't think many people have had the balls or testicles to call in that scenario. And I thought, you know what, you fucked with the wrong small 5'6" lad here, and you're going to get absolutely done.
Messed
And
with the
I hope
wrong
he
one.
did. He might have lied his way through it, but even then he thought, no, I can't do that again. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you could have, look, joking aside, at the very least, he probably, I don't imagine he carried on the same after that. I imagine, you could have potentially saved a life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or he's like in for a penny, in for a pound. You know, it's already been reported. Like
Yeah.
they can't
Yeah.
report it twice. You know?
No. Yeah.
Must go over bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? But
Nah,
yeah,
man. But you had to report it. It's messed up, man.
it happened. We move on. Life proceeds.
Yeah. So I've got a story that happened that was a very strange one. We get funny ones, we get not funny ones, but this is something that happened, right? And I'm still a bit like, I wasn't going to talk about this on this here because because these are people I see every week, but it's playing on my mind, and there's only us three here, so
Interesting.
there's no
Yeah.
harm in us saying
I
it.
like this.
Anyway, so as you know, I'm a member of a church, right?
Yeah.
And it's full of wonderful people, really wonderful people. I
Good
cannot
people of the
say,
church.
yeah, joking aside, I cannot say enough nice things about them people in that church, especially some of them who I've got to know over the past decade. Wonderful people. And the other day, I won't say specifically who this person is, because if I keep that bit out, then it could be anybody, right?
Sure.
But I was in a Darlington supermarket, okay? Now, I'd been to the gym, and I had a pair of shorts on, right? But on this particular day, I had forgotten a change of boxer shorts. So I get a sauna, right? And I didn't have a spare pair of boxer shorts after the sauna, right? So I had to just put my shorts on, but nothing on underneath,
No,
right?
Yeah.
I was on my way home anyway. I was just going to go to the supermarket, get some bits. It was Sunday, you know what I mean? Like, what's the worst that could happen? And go home. The black shorts, you know what I mean? All good. I've done it before. I'm okay in a pair of shorts with no boxers on if it's just a little... Anyway,
Yeah, sure.
I'm walking down the centre aisle of this supermarket. It's really busy. It's heaving, right? And I'm pushing my trolley, and I look left, and there's a lady that I know from church, right? And she is very... I don't want to use the word dramatic, but she's very animated. She's very animated.
Eccentric.
lady.
Yeah.
Very,
Yes.
yeah. Dan! Like this in the alley, right? In the aisle,
no,
right?
one of those people.
So we're all... Yeah,
And I know what you're like at a supermarket.
so this bit's already kicked in,
The wrong
right?
person for
This
you.
bit's already kicked in, but I'm learning to like set myself. Like it's as if you can stop time a minute. Right, this is one of them situations. Just go through your checklist. Don't be weird.
Mm-hmm.
Make eye contact enough that it's not weird, and look away occasionally. So I've ran it all through. So right, I've got the script. Right, I know what I'm going to do. Deep breath.
Sounds like the checklist I do before
Yep.
I start any conversation.
Yep,
Yeah.
little thing, yeah. She's straight up to me, right? Straight up. And she's held like my arms like this, right? But what she's done, because she's walked, she's misjudged the spatial awareness. And I'm stood sideways on, and she's walked up and put her leg between my legs, right?
What the fuck?
So like because she's like, oh, I'm so happy to see you, and I'm thinking to myself, I saw you 2 hours ago. Like she's if we haven't like we're long lost friends.
Yeah.
This is how like balmy she is, right? But she's wonderful. Like what a lovely lady. Oh, it's wonderful to see you, and she stepped into my step, right? But what's happened is my penis
That's some grazing.
is touching her leg, right? And I'm like,
I'm assuming there's shorts in between.
Of course there's shorts.
I don't know if I'm misjudging how short these shorts
No.
are.
These are
free balling it.
These are running shorts, right? So I mean, gosh, there's no creeping out. Gosh, I'm English. Do you know what I mean? There's none of that. Like I even go. Do you know, it's not my world. Like I'm neat. That's how I would describe what I've got going on. It's neat. Right? There's no fucking excitement going. It's just neat.
It's organised.
Yeah. Nevertheless, obviously, you know how thin a pair of Nike shorts are?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just like nylon, like so thin. Like, if I pull these shorts around my leg, I can see my hairs through the shorts.
Mm-hmm.
That's how thin these shorts are. And she stepped in, and I can just feel it just. So my little guy is now squashed between my leg and her leg, right? That's how close she stepped in.
That's weird, man.
Right? Because she's like holding me.
Even if you had the boxer shorts on, this is a weird encounter.
Right. So obviously, again, you're doing a mental checklist. You're like, right, don't panic. Like, wait a second, and then just as you just take a little don't go don't make it obvious. So you just have to get out of it a bit.
Just a little edge away.
What I will say is she's not aware. She is completely engaged in me, and she's very eye contacty, and she's telling me a story, and she goes a few seconds into the story, and I just take a little step aside just to free it. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm aware. Okay. So and then she's got these great big eyes, right? These great big eyes, and she's engaging me in, and I'm so I think to myself, I'm already I've been sort of stimulated already. I'm confused. Normally when somebody's this close to me and I feel a sensation there, and I admit, we're talking, and for a minute second, I thought I was going to kiss her, right? Because she was so she was a lady. I mean, she's about 70.
Okay.
But she's a lady. She smelled like perfume. She had lipstick on. She's soft-spoken. She just touched my penis.
I'm picturing an older Dawn French in the right.
Not far off.
Not far off.
And I had this weird moment where I was my brain, my head was the programming was right, this is where you kiss. And I was so I'm then having an internal you freak, what are you doing? I'm shaming myself in my head. I'm you're a fucking pervert, you.
Why is this even on your mind?
Yeah, you're an absolute pervert, you. Long story short, this interaction went on far too long. It went on for 4 or 5 minutes, this conversation, and I walked away. But that was a story I just wanted to tell. That happened.
This is who.
From all four. Is she fucking hitting on me?
Yeah, this is exactly. I watched this on the weekend, and I was just seeing that scenario of where Dan sat there, and it's just getting a bit close. All of a sudden, nature kicks in at some point. And nature kicked in there,
and it was It was a whole.
Some of these old people are swingers, aren't they? So they'll just go for anybody. You could have had a real moment there.
Listen, I know this lady's husband. Her husband was also in the store. I bumped into him later. He was in a different part of the store. Long story short, but
your penis touched him as well.
No, that was just hello. That was all that was. But that was a really weird interaction, and it happened. And look, I'm ashamed to be saying this, but it happened. And and I think it was it all caught me unawares. I wasn't ready. All of a sudden there was stimulation there. Then she was really close and she smelt nice. And there was a lot of eye contact and who knows?
Steamy little situation.
It's an interesting one, that, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it happened. I suppose the question I want to ask you is am I weird? Does that make me weird that happened? You can be honest.
No, she got too close to you.
Very.
Overstepped the mark. You were free dogging it, which is fair. It's vulnerable. She touched your penis. Or your penis
accidentally. I think she was unaware.
Accidentally, it wasn't a full-on cup.
No,
it was
just a leg on leg.
Yeah. And that obviously enters your mind. Oh my God, my penis has been touched or grazed or whatever. And it's a sensitive area. And it just takes your mind somewhere. And then you think, I'm going to neck on with this bitch. And then the other side of your sane mind is no, mate. No. That's normally what happens when my penis gets touched. Not this time, brother.
Yeah, you've literally articulated that perfect.
Like, I'm just going through the steps of how this played out and what you'll have been thinking and why it's totally sane. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, the thought was like a lightning, but it was that fast. It was like, it wasn't something I can't, like, if I said, oh, it was a half a second, it wasn't a half a second. It was like a flash.
It wasn't like a long.
Yeah, and within tenths of a second, I was into, like, my other voice was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And while all this, have you paid any attention at all to her story?
No idea. My memory is there was something about Bristol. That's all I remember. I just remember.
Well, that also plays into it. No wonder you're in the mood.
Yeah, I mean, I think divulging that, I think I've just divulged who it is because this person has relatives in Bristol. Yeah.
Well, she's
I mean,
lovely...
she also seen you in a supermarket and...
she didn't know the scenario, and she sounds like a lovely woman regardless.
Honestly, I dare say she's my favourite. And there's no snide jokes, but she is my favourite person in there. She is so nice.
It seems it, mate. Yeah,
so nice. Every week I see her, and she makes a point of coming over, and she gives me a little grin, and she squeezes my arm, gives me one of them. You okay? Yeah. One of them. She's lovely, man.
I know a few of them bubbly people who are like really just full of life, and they're really full on and intense when you talk to them. Like, I've got to be in the right mood for it at the right time, because like if it's too much on the wrong day, like I'm like, fuck this person.
Yeah, and that's what I was mindful of. I didn't want, because I am prone to that too. I'm prone to leaving these interactions and thinking, I know I've come across as very clunky and very weird, and she'll walk away thinking he's strange. It's February. Why are we? Oh, that's going to stay. You know what that is? You know that noise? That's a jet washer.
No, that's a cutting of grass. That
you don't cut the grass.
No, there was a guy jet washing the path as I walked in.
You see, my brain lit up there because I thought, oh my god, it's that time of year I get to start cutting the grass again. But no, unfortunately not.
No, that's a stationary generator that he's now moved to this path, and if I know this, he's going to do all down this path. And pretty soon we're not going to be able to hear what we're saying.
It's going to get a lot louder.
What
time were we on? Where were we at?
We got 50 minutes now.
Well, we'll keep going until it becomes unbearable. We'll keep going.
I've got a question for you, actually.
Go on.
So I recently, I'm not sure how this situation came up, but I've signed up as being an organ donor.
Right.
Madness.
I don't think we've ever spoke about this before, so I wanted to kind of ask you what your persuasion would be on the whole. When you die, are you like comfortable with somebody just like having your organs? You don't
I am currently not an organ donor.
Yeah.
But if somebody walked in here now and said, sign this form to be an organ donor, of course.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, I never really thought about it, but then the form landed, and then because I was like posed with the question, I was like, oh, like, am I a dick if I say no at this point?
I think you are.
Yeah, I've said yes. I've got the organ donor code, but then I'm having the conversation with Misha, and like she has also signed up, which is a bit like weird out. Like, if I die first, that like somebody else is going to be walking around with my liver.
Yeah, but they can only use your organs, right? If you die tragically, am I correct there?
What do you mean tragically?
Like no, your
hang on, he died peacefully.
Yeah,
no, we don't want them ones.
Your
we want
organs,
the car crashes.
I might be wrong, but your organs become redundant within the first hour of your heart not pumping blood to those organs. So they then become redundant. So the organ donor process, and I might be completely wrong. Now, you've read the form, so do correct me if I am wrong. But as far as I know, I thought they had to get them pretty sharpish.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say this is because I watched Squid Games recently. And when they shoot the heart, it becomes the rest.
Oh yeah, they're keeping them alive, aren't they?
You've got to keep them semi-alive, or at least pumping some form of blood around their body for the organs to like be kept and still in a decent state.
Yeah. I can't remember from the form, but I've not Squid Game. I've been watching Grey's Anatomy, and yeah, it's a similar kind of thing where they want the organs fresh.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, so yeah, I suppose you're right to an extent, but
no, I respect it, and I do like it. Now, the only thing is, Daniel, when you agreed and you said, yeah, I'm not against it, I believe you are. I believe you are.
I promise you I'm not.
Well, when you get in that coffin, are you going to be allowing people to see you with an open casket?
I don't care. Like, I'm dead.
Would that be a thing? Like, if you're an organ donor, it would have to be a closed casket?
I'm not sure because I think you'd be stitched back up
and a suit put on you.
Yeah, maybe so.
Stuffing.
Literally, they just stuff you. Like, all they got to see is your face. You might not even be your body. You could be a rubber one. Might be just your head.
But then,
just stuck on a mannequin.
Yeah,
but then I think organ donor, actually, what I've just said is incorrect, because even if your organs aren't used for somebody else, they can then be used for research.
Yeah, I don't know the if, buts, and maybes. Look, whatever. Like, if I die in the right way and I can be reused, of course.
I was just thinking open casket, knowing you, Dan, you'd still like to look in decent nick.
Yeah, to be honest, I've never seen an open casket. It isn't something we do in our family, and I'd like to think that wouldn't be the case when I went.
Yeah, I wouldn't want an open casket.
I've got a story about an open casket.
Okay.
Oh.
So, in our family, we've got a lot of Irish. My nana was one of 11 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
From the Irish side of the community. Now, it is tradition in the Irish scenario to have an open casket. And a lot of the time, this open casket is kept in a house for about a week.
That's right.
And it's sort of sprayed to keep it fresh and, like the skin doesn't rot or anything like that. It's
Like a super glue just to hold your face together.
That some people have traditions, and that's the Irish. They come in every, day and they can say, oh, hi. But, in this scenario, it was Uncle Peter who passed, my nana's brother. Lovely, lovely fella. But Uncle Peter really liked a cigarette. So when Uncle Peter died in the open casket, two of his nephews, John and David put a cigarette in Uncle Peter's mouth for the week. And it was just like, that he's happy, he's got a cigarette, it was nice. But obviously throughout the whole time it's getting sprayed with all this stuff to keep it fresh and stuff like that. Anyway,
Was that shit flammable?
at the end of the week, David and John, before the funeral, thought, you know what? Out of respect to Uncle Peter, let's smoke this cigarette. So they take this cigarette and they're like, okay, do you want to spark it? All right. David goes, yeah, I'll spark it. Yeah, it'd be nice.
Wait, sorry, they smoked the cigarette that had been in his mouth?
Yeah, out of respect for Uncle Peter, they love him. He was like a matriarch of our family. He was a big sort of member of our family, and all the hard lads at all meetings would come over and say, how you doing, Peter? You all right? And you'd be terrified sat there with Peter because he's so well known by all these big Irish lads. Anyway, David and John go and they're ready to spark this cigarette, and as soon as David lights this cigarette and sparks it, it absolutely explodes into flames and just puffs up into David's face while he sat there in a black, beautiful suit ready to go to this funeral, and it's like disintegrated all over it. This fag just disintegrated into flames because that spray the whole week was flammable and it was getting sprayed with this
Oh my god!
stuff.
Could you imagine if they lit it while it was in his mouth, like in the dead guy's mouth, like in the whole cheap cremation?
Fortunately, they didn't. But that was one of the better ones from the open casket scenario, and it was just like when my dad tells it better, but my dad tells that story, and it's just fucking hilarious.
I can see it. Like, I think you articulated it pretty well. To be honest, like. That he's lucky that it all ended in laughs and jokes, and it's just ended being like a funny family story.
Yeah.
That could have went sideways.
It could have blinded. It honestly absolutely exploded because it's been lined and laced with this spray, which had not long ago been sprayed since they went and sparked it. So it went just like, that was one of the funnier ones from Peter passing. But yeah, these things happen, and just watch that spray, guys. Be careful.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous one.
Maybe like hairspray or something.
Honestly, it probably would be just something like that. I would think.
You think?
Just like a spray man
And
glue kind of thing, just to
it's
keep it.
something to retain the skin and make
It
sure.
might just be Lynx for all you know. You know what I mean? Just keep the smell away.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Bit of Lynx Africa on that, maybe. Yeah.
Could you imagine being the person, like, because open caskets still like put makeup on them and stuff as well, don't they? Like, Could you imagine doing that job? Like, gotta go and
It's a lot of money in that,
put some makeup on Frida, dead Frida.
Racket of all rackets, that if you can deal with it, funeral directing.
Yeah, people are always dying.
Yeah, that's something that's and AI is not going to change that.
It's like hairdressers, isn't it? Hairdressers are always going to be around. Funeral directors will always be around.
Yeah, man.
True.
I've seen some of these young lads that are like funeral directors, and they're smashing it. You know what I mean? It's a brutal job because you're like, who was it?
Hanging around with doom and gloom all the time.
Yeah, somebody recently. I know somebody who's a funeral. Well, Zoe was telling me a story of somebody who's a funeral director, and it's like he's on call all the time because like when people die, you have to get their body as soon as possible. But for that reason, to preserve it and to keep it if you want to do an open casket. And I think he got called at like 3 o'clock in the morning, you need to go and pick this body up. And like, he has this van where it goes and collects a body, doesn't even like put it in like a proper thing. It just goes in the back of the van. And then,
a bag?
Yeah, in a bag, probably a bag. And he's there on call just driving around with a dead body in the back, like, it's just mental, isn't it? Like,
yeah, that freaks us out, man.
what a strange world and job that is, but very lucrative.
You know, it must be like an undercover world, because if I said to you now, have you ever seen bodies being transported? You'd say, nah. You've seen a funeral, but that's on its way to the funeral. I imagine when they're going, like, I'm quite interested about this now, right? Okay, so people generally pass away in a hospital, right?
Yeah.
So how is, I assume the dead body goes to the funeral director's premises, right? Mm-hmm. Right, okay. So how does the body get from the hospital to the funeral directors first? Like, does the hospital take it to them, or do they collect it from them? And like,
I have never seen a transportation van for anything like that.
and like, where are you collecting it? Like, is there like I know my local hospital. Like, is there like a special entrance
Through
like,
the front door.
Yeah, like
know,
is
yeah.
somebody just over his shoulder, just walking out? Do you know what I mean?
Here we go.
Go on, big lad. No,
this
it must be like, obviously with these things, there has to be a certain level of dignity involved.
Yeah.
So I
Undercover.
think they'd be on a stretcher, maybe with, as you say, in some form of body bag, and then transported safely and nicely to the funeral parlour, which is where it'll get dealt with and sort of sorted and put in a suit.
And organs sold.
And organs battered, if you're in Johnny's world.
Yeah, because I've never seen. It's a secretive. I'm sure it's out of respect, but I can't put my finger on. I know what the
The process
what
is.
the process is.
Yeah.
We just know. Like, I saw, my granddad pass away in hospital. Next thing I know, he's in a funeral car. What happened? Like, where did he go?
Yeah, must just be a subtle white van, no like
Must be.
advertising on it or anything like that. Just a whoosh, straight there. And then imagine that van getting pulled over by the police, and like you'd have to have a hell of a lot of paperwork to say, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, imagine.
Nothing to do with me.
Yeah. So where'd you get this from, mate? Yeah. Yeah, it's a job, like, but I admit I couldn't do it.
Right, hang on. So
I'd
it
be too
says,
freaked out.
when somebody dies in a UK hospital, their body is typically taken to the hospital mortuary, where it will remain until a funeral director is arranged to collect it and transport it to their chapel of rest, following the contact with the next of kin by hospital staff to make arrangements. There you go.
Yeah, just never seen that transport to the chapel of rest, I guess.
No.
Unless it's just,
What is a chapel of rest?
it's like an undercroft under a church, isn't it? They have like a place where they can store these things, or is it like in a funeral director's?
I think it's in a funeral parlour, and
Is
there
it?
must be like a chapel of rest where the bodies are like, you've seen them.
It's kept in a box until they pick out a
Well,
nice
I
casket
think
for
it's actually I think I've seen it in films. When like they've got them rooms that are filled with like I hate to say it, but it looks like ovens. Like a square metal oven, and you can pull the body out and
Like a drawer.
yeah, like
them.
a drawer.
Yeah. I know what you
That's a
mean.
mortuary, isn't it?
Yeah, well there you go.
Yeah, it's a mortuary. And isn't it like? Is it like? Have I seen this in films? Aren't they cold? Isn't that the idea? It's like a fridge.
I probably
Yeah.
keeps the smell down.
Yeah.
Well,
'cause it'll
that's
stop
it.
the
So every hospital has a mortuary.
right.
And that's where it will remain until the funeral director is arranged to collect it. And I'd imagine the mortuary is in a dignified area of the hospital that they typically go to and collect it. But that debunked, people. There we go.
There we go. Well, I've got loads more stuff, but do you know what? I think we've done it, haven't we? Is that a show?
Well, it's only going to get louder, that jet washing. You're not
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's only going to get louder. Well, look, how long have we been rolling Southpaw?
About 103.
We've got an hour, lads.
Yeah.
It's
We've got
nice.
an hour. Listen, I love that show.
Nice
I've
little
got
hour
fun.
that. It's good.
Flew
Oh,
by that,
People
didn't
have
it?
enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Listen, we hope you enjoyed it as well, because we had a good time. Thank you for talking with people like... Is that what we say? Thank you for talking with people like us? Or thank you for speaking?
Thank you for talking.
Whatever you like.
Thank you for talking. Is that right?
Yeah.
Thank you for talking with people like us, and we'll see you next time.